Hi! In this video, we're going to have a little bit of fun with the first few bars of the Music Matters theme. So this is something you'll have heard at the beginning of this video or anytime you come into contact with us, because I wrote this little Music Matters theme to go with our various courses. So you know the one that goes... and so on. What we're going to do here is to take the Music Matters theme and present it in a sort of late romantic style, or a style that's a little bit more like Rachmaninoff or something. So how do I do this? Well, you can see I've got the main tune at the top here. I've just sort of dotted the rhythms to make it a bit more dramatic. So there's the main tune, and then I've just decorated the cadence a bit. So a little bit more of an involved movement is one thing that can happen in these late romantic textures. If you're going to write for the piano, well, you're probably going to use a lot of the piano. So broaden the range, use some high notes, use some low notes. You see all these ledger lines floating around, especially down here. Playing left-hand bass notes in octaves, so they're a bit more solid. Having lots of notes inside the chord, so we've got 7-part, 8-part chords some of the time, really filling out the texture and using the piano. Of course, you can write in a romantic style that's much more kind of gentle and expressive, or you can write in this kind of full-blooded, full-on style. If you were going to orchestrate it, you'd have a big orchestra to play this. This could sound rather good with a whole big symphony orchestra playing it. So you see what I've done then? In the right hand, thickened out the texture. The main theme is sitting at the top, but it's also going in octaves here. So we've got that going for most of the time, haven't we? We're also filling out the chords in between. And then the left hand has got some low bass notes, and then it's coming up to help fill out the chords a bit further in the middle. Instead of just sticking to some fairly basic chords, I've got 1 or 2 chromatic chords as well. So we're in E flat major. We start with the chord 1 in E flat major. Instead of sticking with E flat major for the rest of the bar, which is what the original theme music does, I've put in a diminished 7th here just to kind of spruce it up a little bit. And then here we're making this a 2-7 chord, so using an extended chord there. Here another diminished 7th just to add to the drama. You know, these diminished 7ths really make life very dramatic. If you listen to Liszt, he has diminished 7ths all over the place, you know. Then we've got a chord 1 again, but this time it's a 1B. And then here, I could have just used an E flat major chord, but I've used a C minor 7 chord. So that's a 6-7, isn't it, in the key of E flat. But then I've used an A natural here, a little bit of chromatic colouring. So the A natural sort of suggesting the key of B flat, but not really. I'm going on to a B flat in the melody, but then I'm going on here to use a 1C chord. So we get this strength of the cadence. So, you know, you get this 1C feeling, and then 5-1 for a big finish with a sort of flourish of triplets and a little chromatic A natural just tucked in there as well. And the left hand coming up to double the chords for the cadence. Now, I haven't put any dynamics on here, but, you know, the idea is this will be pretty big stuff. So you need a kind of an octopus to play this kind of stuff sometimes, because there are so many notes. And I've now, having written it, got the added challenge of trying to play it to you with the score written behind me. So I'm going to be playing here and looking behind me, which is all going to add to the fun. So let's hope I can get this half right. So you can see what I've done with it. And what does that sound like then? So we get something like this. So you see how dramatic that is and how you feel that kind of late romantic style. So something that started out as our theme music can feel quite different presented in a romantic style. And if you look elsewhere, you'll find that I'm doing these in different styles. So you can just see how you could take the same melodic idea and present it in lots of different styles. So there we are. Have a little bit of fun there with the late romantic style. This is how we could take the Music Matters theme, the first 4 bars, and do something late romantic with it. But if you're wanting to write in that style, hopefully I've just given you a few hints as a sort of things that you'd be wanting to build into your writing.